I didn't notice the letter at first. With the snow falling in soft spirals outside my mother-in-law's house and the smell of cinnamon drifting through the air, everything about that Christmas Eve felt deceptively peaceful. Children were laughing, someone was pouring wine in the dining room, and the soft glow of the tree lights made the house look warm and inviting, like a place where nothing bad could ever happen. But life has a way of hiding its darkest truths in the quietest moments. I was hanging my coat on the rack near the front door when I felt the weight. A slight tug, something inside the pocket that hadn't been there before. At first, I assumed it was a crumpled tissue or maybe a receipt I had forgotten. But when I slid my hand inside, my fingers brushed against paper. Thicker, folded carefully, intentionally placed. My heart gave a strange, sharp beat. There was no name on the envelope, no handwriting, just a plain, cream-colored fold of paper tucked so deliberately that I knew instantly it wasn't an accident. Someone put it there. I should have ignored it. I should have walked into the living room, smiled at my husband, accepted the glass of wine he offered me, and continued the evening like nothing had happened. But something inside me, curiosity, dread, instinct, tightened and whispered, "Read it." So I did. I stepped quietly into the hallway, away from the chatter and festive music, and opened the letter. The first line made my breath stop. "He isn't who you think he is." My fingers went cold. I blinked at the words, reading them again and again, trying to understand. He. Who? My husband? Someone else? The next line was worse. "Before midnight, you will learn the truth. I'm sorry you have to find out like this." My knees weakened. The edges of the letter trembled in my hands. I looked around the hallway. Empty. Silent. But suddenly the house felt different, as if shadows had shifted, as if every person inside might be hiding something. I folded the letter with shaking hands and slipped it into my pocket. My heartbeat thudded in my ears as I walked back into the living room. My husband, Daniel, was laughing with his sister near the fireplace, completely unaware that our life had just split into before and after. He looked normal, happy, warm, the man I loved. But the letter's words echoed in my skull. He isn't who you think he is. I tried to act normal, tried to smile when my mother-in-law complimented the bracelet I was wearing, tried to laugh when Daniel's nephews put tinsel on the dog, but the letter burned inside my pocket like a live coal. Who put it there? Why? And what truth was I supposed to learn before midnight? Everything inside me twisted with suspicion. I watched Daniel more closely, the way his smile looked slightly strained, the way he kept checking his phone, the way he avoided his sister's eyes. I had never noticed these things before, but now every detail felt significant. At one point, his sister caught me staring. She hesitated, her expression shifted, guilt, worry, something else, and then she looked away quickly. Too quickly. My heart thudded harder. Could it have been her? She was always protective of Daniel, sometimes to a fault. But would she slip a letter into my coat? Would she warn me? Or was it someone else? The unease grew heavier with every passing minute. Finally, Daniel approached me. His smile was soft, but his eyes looked tired. "You okay?" he asked. "You seem distracted." I swallowed. "Just tired." A lie. Another crack forming. He touched my arm gently, but for the first time in years, his touch felt unfamiliar, like a stranger's. And then it happened. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He checked it. His expression changed in an instant, tightening, darkening, and he stepped away from me. He walked into the kitchen, lowering his voice, whispering as if the conversation was one I wasn't supposed to hear. I followed him, not entirely intentionally, my feet just moved, and as I rounded the doorway, I heard his voice, soft but sharp. "No, not tonight. She can't find out." I froze. Find out what? The letter? His sister avoiding me? Daniel whispering? Pieces were falling into place, but they formed a puzzle I wasn't ready to see. My heart pounded as I backed away from the kitchen, unnoticed, and slipped into the guest room down the hall. I shut the door behind me, pressing my back to it, palms sweating. I pulled the letter out again, staring at the words that now felt terrifyingly real. Before midnight. That was just hours away. A knock startled me. Soft, hesitant. Not Daniel's. When I opened the door, his sister stood there, her face pale, her eyes shiny with something like fear. She stepped inside quickly and closed the door behind her. "I need to talk to you," she whispered. "There's something you don't know about Daniel, something none of us were ever supposed to tell you." My stomach dropped. She looked at me, voice trembling, as she said, "Did you get the letter?" And I couldn't breathe. I closed the door behind her sister, my heart hammering in my chest like a drum I couldn't control. Her eyes darted nervously around the room, lingering for a moment on the Christmas tree, glowing softly in the corner, before she finally met my gaze. "You don't understand," she whispered, voice barely audible, shaking slightly. This isn't just about some mistake or secret you'll forgive with time. It's bigger than that, much bigger." I swallowed, trying to steady my breath, though it felt as if the room had shrunk around me. "What do you mean? What's going on?" My voice was sharper than I intended. Panic was threading itself into every syllable. She hesitated, looking away, biting her lip. "Daniel, he's not the man you think he is. Not entirely. There are things he's hidden, things I've tried to protect him from everyone. But the truth has a way of coming out. That letter? Someone wanted you to see it. They wanted you to know what we couldn't tell you ourselves." A chill ran down my spine. My fingers tightened around the envelope in my pocket. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to flee, to never look back. But something inside me, curiosity mixed with fear, kept me rooted. "Why?" I whispered. "Why now? Why at Christmas?" She swallowed hard. "Because the timing matters. If you don't understand what's at stake tonight, it could all fall apart. Not just your marriage. Everything. The family, the trust, your future. It could all be gone." I felt my chest tighten, the room spinning slightly as the words settled into my mind. Gone. Trust shattered. My future rewritten in invisible ink I couldn't see until now. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the knot of fear in my throat wouldn't let me. Who put the letter there?" I finally managed to ask, my voice trembling. Her eyes flicked toward the door, then back to me. "I don't know. I only know someone wanted you to know. Someone thought you deserved the truth. But it's dangerous. If Daniel finds out you've seen it, I don't know what he'll do." Dinner ended. Guests lingered by the fire, exchanging polite laughter, sharing anecdotes I couldn't focus on. Every sentence felt like a mask, every smile like a performance I could no longer take at face value. Finally, when the last guest left, Daniel came to me, placing a hand lightly on my shoulder. "Are you okay?" he asked, concern lacing his tone. I looked at him, my chest tight, my mind racing. "Yes," I said, voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. "I'm fine." But I wasn't fine. Not even close.
The letter burned against my skin, a physical reminder that tonight, nothing would ever be the same. And in the silence of the empty house, I realized I had crossed an invisible threshold. I had entered a world of truths I wasn't prepared for, secrets that could destroy everything I had built, everything I believed. And deep down, I knew the real test hadn't even begun. The night was far from over. Someone wanted me to know the truth, and soon that truth would demand a response I might not be ready to give. I sat by the fire, the envelope trembling slightly in my hands, and watched Daniel moving around the room. He seemed calm, smiling occasionally, talking to his sister casually, but now I could see the tension beneath the surface, the careful control he always exerted, the practiced charm, the tiny gestures that betrayed the real man underneath. It all felt visible to me in a way it never had before. And I understood, with a sinking certainty, that the letter was only the beginning. The real story was yet to unfold.
The house was quiet now, the last of the Christmas lights casting a soft glow over the living room. I stood in the middle of the room, the letter clutched in my hands, every word burned into my memory. The time had come. The truth could no longer wait. Daniel appeared from the kitchen, his eyes meeting mine with a mixture of fear, regret, and something softer, hope. "I know you've read it," he said, quietly, not accusing, not angry, just waiting. I inhaled, steadying myself. "Yes," I admitted. "I read the letter. I know more than you wanted me to know. And I can't pretend anymore." He nodded slowly, swallowing hard. "I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I was protecting you from the past, from my mistakes. But the truth, it always finds a way." The room felt smaller, tighter, yet in that pressure, something shifted. I realized that the fear, the tension, the lies, they had all been walls I could choose to climb over or let them trap me forever. "Daniel," I said, voice steady now, "I don't care about the secrets anymore. I care about us, what we do now. We can't change the past, but we can decide the future, together. Honestly, completely, no more lies." He stepped closer, his hand reaching for mine. "I want that. I want everything with you. No more shadows." I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time in days. Flaws, regrets, fears, all of it. But also love, vulnerability, and the courage to face the consequences. And I made my choice. "Then we face it together," I whispered. "Every truth, every mistake, we don't hide anymore. We take it all and we move forward." He squeezed my hand, relief and gratitude shining in his eyes. For the first time in weeks, I felt a weight lift from my chest. The fear, the suspense, the uncertainty, it was replaced by clarity and a fragile, beautiful hope. Later, when his sister approached me, I saw the same vulnerability in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I only ever wanted to protect both of you." I nodded. "I know, and I forgive you. But it's time we all stopped hiding from the truth." Christmas morning came with snow gently falling outside, children laughing, and the warmth of family gathered together. Not perfect, not without flaws, but real. And in that imperfect reality, I found peace. The letter had nearly broken me. It had terrified me, shaken my trust, and forced me to face truths I had never imagined. But it had also given me something invaluable: clarity, perspective, and the choice to embrace life, love, and honesty fully. As Daniel took my hand and we stepped outside into the crisp winter air, I felt the first true breath of freedom. The past was behind us, the present ours to live, in the future Uncertain, yes, but real, was waiting for us to write it together. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I could breathe again.